Good afternoon, my beautiful people, and this is part 2 to how to manifest your desires and the things on your vision board. Part 2 to manifesting your desires is believing, and believing is an action word. God said without faith it is impossible to please God, and faith without works is dead. The working is the believing. That's one part of the working. And a way to increase your believing is actually seeing yourself already in possession of the good that you desire. I remember somewhere in the Bible, I believe God was telling Abraham, he was showing him to look at the stars in the sky. And he said, I will give you as far as much as your eyes can see. And if you're only seeing what's in front of you with your natural eyes, that is all you will keep getting, because that's all you can see yourself with. That's why it's so important, in order to increase your belief system, is to daily, take action in your believing. And one of the ways that you can do that is through visualization. See yourself already with the good that you desire. And, and a lot of times while we're believing for something, we get frustrated that it's taking a little bit too long. But your belief, your thoughts, your words, they are seeds. And every seed has a gestation period. Like when you have a baby and you plant the seed in the womb, in the uterus, it takes 9 months for that seed to come into manifestation, from conception to birth. Just like when you plant a seed in the ground, it takes about a few weeks for it to manifest. You don't just plant a seed in the ground and it comes up as soon as you plant it. You don't just conceive a baby and say, oh, the baby is here. No, you go through the gestation period. So during the gestation period, you have to increase your belief system, because believing is an action. So that means you have to constantly do stuff to increase your belief system. I remember when I was believing for the place that I'm living in now. My credit didn't say at that time that I can move here. The job that I was working at was temporary, so I was nervous to show my pay stubs because or to get confirmation from my employer, because I didn't want them to say I was a temp. Because you have to make a certain amount to live here and you have to have good credit to live here. So I had to work on my credit, but at that time I wasn't there yet. So, I got there, but, you have to increase my belief system. I had to put myself here before I even, moved here. So I made an appointment to look at the apartment and came in the apartment, and walked around, did a tour. So when I went home, while I was here doing a tour, I collected data to take home for my visualizations and my meditation settings. So I was visualizing myself in every room already decorated the way that I wanted it. And it's funny because as I started decorating and buying things, it looks exactly like the vision that, I was seeing in my visualizations. You had, even if you want a car, you want a specific car, your dream car. I heard this guy did this before. He went to the dealership, and every day he test drove that car. Well, not every day, but he test drove that car, got a feel of what the car smelled like, with how the controls worked in the car. He actually saw himself there. That is the things that you have to do during the gestation period. You have to actually put yourself in that environment before you're actually there, because and that's going to be part 3, is the receiving mode. The only way that these things will come is if you already see yourself with them. And the only way you can see yourself with them is by, putting yourself in situations, where the people that's already doing the things that you want to accomplish, or if it's a place that you want to go see, even if your bank account doesn't, show that you can afford it, go there anyway, because that'll increase your belief system, because you see yourself with it already. And whatever you see yourself in your mind with on a continuous basis, every single day, continue to see yourself there, because believing is an action. You got to constantly keep seeing yourself and doing those visualization techniques. You'll be there. It would be there before you know it. And the time in between the planting the seed of what you want and the time that it manifests, that's not up to us. That's up to a higher power than us. We can't focus on when it's going to come. Just know that it will come. And when you increase your belief system and know that it's coming, and even when you start getting, if you start to get doubtful, because we're human, sometimes that happens, because it happened to me. If you do start to get doubtful because you don't see it, that's when you start praising God like it's already done, because it really is already done. It's just not in manifestation mode yet. So you just say, Lord, I thank you for, I thank you for my new house, or my new car, or my new job, or my new business, whatever it may be, my new ministry. I thank you for those things. I believe that I receive it. I believe that you said I can have these things. I believe that you said nothing is impossible, and I believe they're already mine. And I just praise you right now, and I thank you for it. And when you do that and go into praise mode, it takes away the doubt instantly. Trust me. And then you expect it. You expect to see it. Just constantly get in the mode of being inspired. Look at pictures of the things that you're believing for. Keep listening to positive audios or watching inspirational videos that has something to do with where you're going or where you're trying to go. So you constantly feed yourself with faith. Let's see. Ways to increase your visualization. We talked about that. Let me see, because I wrote down some notes so I can pace myself, because I'm trying, it's just a lot that I try to, share with you guys. And faith is spiritual. Everything happens in the spirit and before it manifests. Oh, yeah. And here in the Bible it says, through faith we understand that the world was framed by God, so that the things that are seen was created by things that are unseen. Like when God said he saw that the earth didn't have any light, he spoke a word and said, let there be light. And it was so. He had to speak it first, just like you have to speak those things that you want into existence first. God saw that the earth was void and without form. And he spoke over it and created everything that you see here. He did it in the spirit. Your words are spirit. Your thoughts are spirit. Everything takes place twice. It takes place in the spiritual realm, and then it takes place in the physical. So you can't have anything in the physical if it hasn't been in the spiritual yet. Everything that you see, the iPhone, the TVs, the chair I'm sitting in, the camera that I'm using, everything was a thought first. I'm sorry, I'm so used to looking in at my face instead of looking at the camera thing here when it's faced sideways. So everything has to take place in the spiritual first, which is your words, your thoughts, and God gives you desires of your heart. So that's why whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're believing for, it has to be a desire. And a desire is a desire is a dominant thought. A desire is not something that you think about just one time. You think about something one time, it's out of your mind, out of sight, out of mind. You're not thinking about it anymore. You have to constantly, every day, daily see yourself with the good that you desire. And it becomes a desire of your heart. And once God sees it as a burning desire, he shall give you the desires of your heart. And it has to be free from doubt. It has to be free from worry. We don't have doubt, we have faith. And without faith, it's impossible to please God. He's not moved by you crying and begging for anything. He's moved by your faith, that you believe that you already have the things. Don't say, I'm going to have these things, because if you say, I'm going to have these things, then you're always going to be having these things. I mean, they're not here yet. You're always going to be waiting for them. Say, I already have it. Everything that God has given you is already done. You already have it. It's just not, it's here. It's just not in physical form yet. And it comes into physical form through your asking, with your thought and your words, through your believing, which you constantly see in your mind, the things that you desire. And then, part 3 will be in your receiving. And I'm going to teach you in receiving how to wait for these things and how to receive it. And we receive it by being thankful for it before we see it with our in our natural eyes, before we see it. That's how you get into the receiving mode. So stay tuned for part 3 video on receiving, and Have a great day. Stay tuned. Bye bye.